Hello and welcome, my name is Savannah, and today we will be looking at the lore, mysteries, and families of Twinbrook in The Sims 3. This is the third video in a series on my channel where I delve into all of the worlds in The Sims 3 in the order of release. Last time we looked at Riverview, and before that, Sunset Valley. So check out the playlist I have of those videos if you have not seen them already. Today we will be hopping into Twinbrook, the world that shipped with The Sims 3 Ambitions expansion on June 10th of 2010. Twinbrook is a small misty town located in a sort of bayou/swamp. The world is very much inspired by Louisiana suburbs. The bio of one sim in town suggests it is located in or near Missouri, presumably a sim version of Missouri in the United States. The town's description reads, quote, "In its heyday, Twinbrook was a small industrial town at the mouth of the Simisloss Creeks. Years later, the dam was built, bringing in dramatic changes to the town. With an influx of professionals, artists, and inventors living around the sim-made lake, Twinbrook is experiencing a rebirth. How will life in this eclectic community turn out?" There are 28 playable households in Twinbrook, and we will be looking at all of them. A lot is going on in this seemingly innocuous little town, so grab a snack and get comfortable, and let's load into Twinbrook. As per usual, we will be saying hello to some returning families from previous Sims games, starting with the Curious family. The Curious family resides at 6 Knothole Lane and is made up of Marshall and Cherish Curious, and their 2 children, Bunny and Notso. Marshall Curious is a dedicated and brilliant scientist, constantly on the quest for knowledge and breakthroughs. The household bio implies some of his scientific research may have some serious ripple effects for his future descendants. He is an adult and works as a top secret researcher in the science career. He is a workaholic, neurotic, a loner, a bookworm, and a bit grumpy. His lifetime wish is to be a professional author, and he has 3 fishing, 6 gardening, 5 handiness, 2 logic, and 2 writing skill. Cherish Curious is Marshall's wife. She originally dreamed of being a doting housewife and a stay-at-home mom, but realized she had a passion for teaching when she took up the job at a time when her husband's career was in a bit of a slump and not paying the bills. Unfortunately, she's reaching a point where she's begun to worry about being able to juggle it all. She's an adult and works as a substitute teacher in the education career. Her lifetime wish is to be surrounded by family, and she is brave, family-oriented, never nude, a hopeless romantic, and friendly. She has 1 charisma and 1 cooking skill. I find her cooking skill to be surprisingly low, given her original dream was to be a stay-at-home mom/housewife. I feel like that's a very important skill for those things. But anyway, she is also best friends with Rosie Welloff of the Welloff family. Bunny Curious is the older of Marshall and Cherish's 2 children. She is a child and is the opposite of her father, as she is far more creatively inclined. She has no skills and has a good sense of humor, is virtuoso and easily impressed. Her virtuoso trait suggests she may take the musical path someday. Not so curious is a brave and excitable young toddler. His mother Cherish seems to see something special in him and has high hopes for his future. He is the only sim in the family who appears elsewhere in the franchise. He is a returning sim from Strangetown in The Sims 2. He is already dead in The Sims 2, but he has living descendants who reside in Strangetown. He marries a woman named Zoe, and together they have a son named Glarn Curious. While Glarn is also dead in the game, he has a litany of children running around Strangetown. He was married twice, and at some point he was abducted by aliens and impregnated by Pollination Technician 9. Weirdly, Pollination Technician 9 later marries one of Glarn's daughters from his second marriage and has 3 children with her. The Curious clan is a very fascinating family, which we will be going way more in depth into in my Strangetown video later this month. Lastly, there is a deceased sim buried at the local cemetery, Ivy Hill Graveyard, named Stewart Curious. His relation to the family is unclear, as he does not appear in their family tree. However, he bears a striking resemblance to Marshall down to the facial hair. Some speculate he may be Marshall's father. He died by meteor strike as an adult, and his traits were workaholic, can't stand art, grumpy, frugal, and dislikes children. His lifetime wish was to be a jack of all trades. Our next returning family is the Welloff family at 36 Pub Puddlewick Drive. As their surname suggests, they are a very wealthy family. Rosie is a happy woman content with the small family she has grown, and she wishes for her daughter to have the best future possible. She is an adult and a toddler sports coach in the athletic career. She is a technophobe, family-oriented, good, a light sleeper, and friendly. She has 3 athletic skill points, and her lifetime wish is to be surrounded by family. Rick is her husband and works as a genetic resequencer in the science career. He joined the career more as a way to successfully provide for his family rather than because he has any passion for it, and he can't wait for the day he can retire and dedicate the rest of his life to art. He's an adult and a workaholic, a savvy sculptor, perceptive, ambitious, and a computer whiz. He has 2 fishing, 5 gardening, 5 handiness, and 2 logic skill, and his lifetime wish is to be the CEO of a mega corporation. This is strange as he would need to switch to the business career to complete this. Additionally, this does not at all align with his alleged passion for art. Anyway, Rick is also best friends with Mary Baker of the Baker family. Zoe Curious is Rick and Rosie's daughter. She is a child and brave, loves the outdoors, and is easily impressed. She has no skills but is an intelligent child with big aspirations for her future. She is outdoorsy and maybe a little sporty as she has a baseball in her inventory. She is the only returning sim in her family. The name Zoe may sound familiar to you, as I said earlier that Not So Curious marries a woman named Zoe. That woman was Zoe Welloff, who later becomes Zoe Curious. Like I said, she and Not So get married and have Glarn Curious. So those are our returning families, much fewer than other worlds, as you probably noticed. Anyway, now let's say soul to some new faces, starting with the Art and Love household at 19 Poker Flats Drive. Buddy Bailey and Gala Ball are a pair of roommates who are just friends, despite their household bio referring to them as a couple. Buddy Bailey is a young adult and works as a podium publisher in the politics career. However, he really wants to be an artist, but that is just not paying the bills. So he seems to have simply taken up this job as a means of holding him over until his art career takes off. If it takes off. He is eco-friendly, artistic, a couch potato, friendly, and over-emotional. His dream is to be a master of the arts, and he has 2 painting and 1 writing skill. Galabal is a young adult and works as a kitchen scullion in the culinary career. She has just started her career after recently graduating, and she hopes to continue her party girl antics from when she was in school. She is a great kisser, a natural cook, eco-friendly, unlucky, and a party animal. Her lifetime wish is to be the culinary librarian, and she has 4 cooking skill as well as 2 points in the hidden dancing skill. She is currently dating DeAndre Wolf of the Wolf household. DeAndre Wolf resides at 33 Puddlewick Drive. He is an adult and a wealthy musician, unsure if he has yet reached the peak of his career. He grew up somewhere called Simsbury. This may be where Twinbrook is located, or at least nearby. He is a lead guitarist in the music career and is flirty, excitable, artistic, easily impressed, and virtuoso. His dream is to be a rock star, and he has 2 charisma and 7 guitar skill. As I said, he is dating Gala Ball, but they are not boyfriend and girlfriend. He seems to be a bit of a ladies' man, given his flirty personality, and also most of his acquaintances and friends in town are women. Next at 23 Puddlewick Drive is the Baker family. Mary Baker is the head of the household. She is a single mother of 2 and is incredibly hardworking, having managed to build a very nice life for her and her sons. The 3 of them live in an incredibly large and beautiful home. She is an adult and a sous chef in the culinary career. She has a good sense of humor, is a party animal, a natural cook, family-oriented, and charismatic. She has 6 cooking and 3 charisma skill, and her goal is to become a celebrated 5-star chef. Like I mentioned earlier, she is best friends with Rich Welloff. Lincoln is her older son. He is a young adult and stepped up as the man of the house and helped raise his brother Newton. Unfortunately, this has seemingly had a very poor effect on their relationship as the 2 brothers are enemies. Lincoln is a lab tech in the science career and is flirty, has a good sense of humor, commitment issues, a green thumb, and is friendly. He has 2 gardening and 2 handiness skill, and his lifetime wish is to have the perfect garden. Newton is a rebellious teen. His rebellious nature is probably also part of why he and his brother are enemies. He was likely a bit of a hassle to raise. He has inherited his mother's affinity for cooking, but has no skills. He is a natural cook, perceptive, dislikes children, and is a mooch. It is unclear what happened to Lincoln and Newton's father, if he died or walked out. However, there is a Sim buried in Ivy Hill Graveyard named Bob Andy Baker. While he shares a surname with the family, he is not in their family tree. His cause of death was drowning and he died as an adult. His lifetime wish was to have the perfect garden, and his traits were good sense of humor, unlucky, loves the outdoors, friendly, and green thumb. The unlucky trait is odd as the Grim Reaper usually always revives unlucky Sims unless they die of old age. He may be Lincoln and Newton's father as he shares 3 traits and a lifetime wish with Lincoln. He also looks similar to both Lincoln and Newton. At 153 Herschel's Pond Road lives the Bayliss family, and they are a very peculiar family. They seem to be perhaps hiding their identities, as their bio states written records have their surname written a variety of ways, and their family lineage is difficult to trace. They also all seem to wear a lot of camouflage. However, maybe they are just weird off-the-grid types. Gwen Bayliss is the matriarch of the family. She is an adult and works as a freelance writer in the journalism career. She is brave, loves the outdoors, is family-oriented, a daredevil, and an angler, and her lifetime wish is to be presenting the perfect private aquarium. She has 7 fishing and 2 writing skill. She was seemingly born and raised in Twinbrook, or at least in the area. She is also described as having a city-like personality, but it is unclear what that means. She has similar traits to the rest of her family, so it is unclear what makes her city-like. Skeet Bayliss is her husband. He is an adult and works part-time as an epitaph writer at the mausoleum. He is a slob, absent-minded, loves the outdoors, is family-oriented, and an angler. He desires to be surrounded by family and has 5 fishing skill. His bio states he is very intelligent and a utilitarian guy. He painted the family truck and also installed the garage door in the kitchen. I feel they should have given him the handiness or maybe even painting skill to emphasize his utilitarian skill set. Chase is the couple's teenage daughter. She is a loner, loves the outdoors, is family-oriented, and an angler, and she has 3 fishing skill. She used to be more of a daddy's girl growing up, but apparently she's beginning to take after her mother more. However, she shares 3 traits with both of them, so it is unclear what about her makes her more like her mother. Tay is Chase's little brother. He is a child and loves the outdoors, is family-oriented, and an angler. He has 1 fishing skill. He is unfortunately not exactly the brightest child. It seems unlikely he will even finish elementary school. An urn sits in the family home, and it contains the remains of Fly Bayliss. He died of old age. His traits were slob, loves the outdoors, family-oriented, angler, and eco-friendly, and his lifetime wish was to be presenting the perfect private aquarium. He does not appear in the family tree, but is definitely related to them, given the fact that his urn is in their home, and he looks a lot like Skeet and the children. He also shares the loves the outdoors, family-oriented, and angler traits with the entire family, and he shares a lifetime wish with Gwen. Something worthy of noting is that one of the junkyards in town is called Bayliss Memorial Junkyard. Presumably, this junkyard was either previously or maybe currently owned by the family. Lastly, we need to discuss one interesting theory about this family. They may be inbred. This is mostly due to Gwen's bio stating, quote, "The family lineage is a bit murky and anyone who has ever tried to track it down has only been led in circles," perhaps suggesting that rather than a family tree, they have more of a family wreath. This theory is also somewhat supported by the fact that Gwen and Skeet share 3 traits. This is not inherently weird, as of course a married couple will have things in common. However, children often inherit traits from their parents. So if they had the same parents, it would make it much more likely to have such a high number of shared traits. Maybe Fly is the father of both of them. This would explain why Tay and Chase are slightly funky looking, in my opinion. Sorry. They all have the family-oriented trait, so I guess they are a very family-oriented family. Anyway, let's bounce over to 32 Sweetwater Loop, the residents of the Castor family. They are a very traditional suburban nuclear family. They live in a very suburban-style home meant to mimic one you would see in 1950s US sitcoms. Robert Castor is the patriarch and head of the family. He is a very traditional conservative man who wants to be the breadwinner while his wife cooks, cleans, and takes care of the kids. He is an adult and works as a latrine cleaner in the military career, but his performance is slightly in the negative. He can't stand art, is unlucky handy, hydrophobic, and a coward. I imagine his cowardliness may be part of the reason for his poor performance in the military career. He has four-handiness skill and his lifetime wish is to be the tinkerer. Beverly Castor is his wife. She is a stay-at-home mom / housewife, and she is a very traditional woman who believes in following her husband's lead and desires. Now, interestingly, despite being such a traditional 1950s-esque couple, they met on a dating website. Not very traditional if you ask me. They also moved rather quickly in their relationship, getting engaged on the third date. Anyway, Beverly is a couch potato, hot-headed, neurotic, a loser, and a slob. Her lifetime wish is to be a chess legend, which I find surprising as I would have assumed a traditional woman like herself would want to be surrounded by family or perhaps have a culinary-related lifetime wish. Additionally, she somehow has absolutely no skills. Again, given her desire to be a traditional housewife, I am surprised she cannot cook at all, but I suppose it fits her couch potato trait. Jeffrey Castor is the pair's teenage son. He does not seem to care very much for his family's traditional ways. As a result, he has enemies with his entire family. Also, I don't have a lot of knowledge about fashion across various decades, but his outfit gives me a sort of 70s vibe, which of course drastically opposes his family's 1950s aesthetic. He is hot-headed, evil, a coward, and a computer whiz, and he lacks any skills. His parents greatly disapprove of his interest in tech and computers. However, this is rather hypocritical given the duo met online. Speaking of dating, Jeffrey is actually currently dating Chase Bayless. Now, Thomas Castor is a child and he tries his best to be a good kid and fit into his parents' traditional nuclear ideal, but he falls short a lot of the time and gets in trouble for it. He has a good sense of humor, is good and lucky, and has no skills. Strangely, buried next to the local diner, Brenton Boxcar Diner, is a Sam named B. Vernon Castor. He died by electrocution as an elder. His traits were lucky, handy, virtuoso, coward, and perfectionist, and his lifetime wish was Monster Maker. Handy Sams usually cannot be killed by repairing electronics, so he was likely struck by lightning. Some speculate that the B in his name stands for Brenton and he owned the diner. If this is the case, perhaps his dying wish was to be buried outside of his business because he loved it so much. He is not in the Castor family tree, so his relation to the family is unclear, though it is possible he was Robert's father. At 5 Poker Flats Drive is our next household, the Brandt family. Mark Brandt is a very talented man with a lot of potential. He is an adult and currently works as a latrine cleaner in the military career, although I doubt that will be the case for much longer as his performance is pretty bad. I find the military career to be a rather odd career choice for a guy like him, given his creative personality and alternative aesthetic. His personal bio states he has some interest in becoming a tattoo artist, which I definitely think he should do. He is a perfectionist, handy, a genius, has commitment issues, and is artistic. He has 4 painting skill points. Despite his commitment issues, he is currently dating his neighbor, Amy Bull. Amy Bull lives at 13 Poker Flats Drive. Amy is an outgoing fashion girl. She is a young adult, and while she currently works part-time as a clothes folder at the spa, she wants to eventually join the stylist profession, and her dream is to become a fashion phenomenon. It is unclear why she has yet to take the leap and follow her dreams, but her bio states she might not have the tenacity to do so. Perhaps she's afraid of failing. She's absent-minded, clumsy, excitable, artistic, and charismatic, and she has 3 charisma and 3 painting skill. She is very popular and has a plethora of friends around town, but her best friend is Jenny Jones Brown. The Jones Brown household resides at 4 Poker Flats Drive. The family consists of Jenny Jones Brown and her divorced parents, Lenny Smith Jones and Renee William Brown. Brown. Jenny is a young adult and works part-time as an intake specialist at the spa. She is flirty, family-oriented, a hopeless romantic, easily impressed, and friendly. Her lifetime wish is to be surrounded by family, and she has level 2 charisma skill. She seems to be handling living with her divorced and bickering parents just fine. She is currently dating Goodwin Good of the Good and Bad household, and unbeknownst to her parents, she is pregnant with his child. She's afraid they will not be happy about it, and that her being pregnant out of wedlock will reflect poorly on them. Also, the household bio seems to suggest it is unclear if Goodwin is willing to step up for the child or if he is even aware of the pregnancy yet. Lenny Smith-Jones is Jenny's father. He is an adult and a coffee courier in the business career. However, he is not doing very well, and his performance is in the negative. His bio states his poor performance in his career has had negative impacts on his home life, perhaps suggesting it contributed to his divorce. Given the fact that he is at such a low career level for his age, it is possible he may have been demoted several times. He is a couch potato, has commitment issues, is clumsy, a heavy sleeper, and childish. His traits suck overall, and I imagine that, plus his commitment issues, also contributed to the divorce. Lenny has 1 charisma and 1 logic skill, and his lifetime wish is to be a jack of all trades. He and Renee dislike each other. Renee William Brown is an adult and works part-time as a spa package seller at the spa. She is over-emotional, neurotic, hates the outdoors, is a loser, and has commitment issues. Like her ex-husband, her traits are terrible. I imagine their awful personalities and them both having commitment issues were the primary reason for her and Lenny's divorce. It is honestly insane they stayed together long enough to raise a child to adulthood. My headcanon is that they hooked up when they were young and Renee got pregnant by accident. They had a shotgun wedding to not have a baby out of wedlock. They quickly realized they could not stand each other, but decided to stay together until Jenny became a young adult. Now Renee seems to be loving being single and free, and has no interest in getting back with Lenny. And now let's have a look at the life of Jenny's baby daddy. The Good and Bad household resides at 14 Poker Flats Drive and consists of Goodwin Good and Sinbad Rotter. The duo are polar opposite roommates and bitter enemies due to their conflicting personalities. It is unclear why they ever decided to become roommates in the first place, and why on earth they still are. As his name suggests, Goodwin Good is an all-around good guy. He is a young adult and works as a snitch in the law enforcement career. However, his dream is to become a firefighter superhero, which would require him to quit his current job and join the firefighter profession. He has level 6 athletic skill and is brave, family-oriented, good, a great kisser, and a hopeless romantic. The household bio states Goodwin is going to find himself in a predicament soon that only his roommate will be able to help him through. I assume the predicament is referring to his and Jenny's baby, but I don't know how Sinbad would be able to help him with that. Goodwin's family-oriented and good traits suggest he will happily step up and take care of his and Jenny's baby. Sinbad is not the most pleasant person in the world. He's a young adult and is a decoy in the criminal career. This isn't exactly the life path he wants to follow though, but he feels like he's in too deep to do anything else. His bio implies he may need the help of friends to get him out of this situation. Although they are not friends, I imagine Goodwin would be his best bet. Sinbad is flirty, hot-headed, a kleptomaniac, evil, and mean-spirited. He has no visible skills, but he does have 3 hidden skills. He has 1 point each in hacking and tattoo art, and despite not having the mooch trait, he has 2 points in the hidden mooch skill. His lifetime wish is to be a master thief, which opposes his bio, which states he does not want to continue the bad path he's been going down. Also, fun fact I learned, rotter is a British slang term for a cruel, stingy, or unkind person. Next, at 43 Earlsbridge Road is the Carlton household. Sophia Carlton is a carefree rich girl who gained her enormous wealth from an inheritance, although it is unknown who she received this inheritance from. She is famous, well, not technically, as ambitions came before late night and late night added the fame system, but she is a public figure, and she wants to prove that she is is more than just an untalented heiress. She is a young adult and is unemployed, and her bio suggests that with her current lifestyle and lack of employment, her fortune may not last forever. She is a great kisser, dislikes children, is a schmoozer, a snob, and lucky. She dreams of living in the lap of luxury, and she has 2 charisma skill points. It appears that the home she lives in was also probably part of her inheritance, as it has a swing set out front, I assume originally installed for some children, and Sophia dislikes children. Sophia is very likely based on Paris Hilton. Sophia is the capital of Bulgaria, just like Paris is the capital of France, and Carlton is a hotel chain, just like Hilton. Lastly, for reasons unknown, Sophia is enemies with the Pigeon family. Millie and Dilly Pigeon reside at 16 Wandering Heights Road. Millie is an elder and a retired fan in the music career. She's absent-minded, a slob, a vegetarian, good, and a heavy sleeper. Her lifetime wish is to be the leader of the free world, which I find bizarre given she retired from the music career. She retired from the music career at a rather low level, so she was either not very good at her job, or perhaps she started the job not long before retiring, having previously been in the politics career, but quitting before completing her wish for some reason. Despite her old age, she has somehow acquired no skills throughout her life. Millie has an ex-boyfriend and his name is Juan Darer. While he is her ex, he is not the father of her daughter Dilly. Millie and Dilly are quite close, and Millie is very protective of her daughter, almost to a suffocating degree. Dilly is an adult and works as a paper girl in the journalism career. She is best friends with her mother, and her bio states she is quite similar to her mother, although they only appear to share one trait. She is a bookworm, excitable, a vegetarian, charismatic, and childish. She has 1 charisma skill point, and she wants to be super popular. Currently, she is dating a man named Langwood from the high-tech friend's household. The family's home is rather large and impressive, but strangely features a huge pool that seems to have either been damaged or intentionally partially destroyed, causing water to flood out and create a sort of lake on the side of the lot. The last thing about this family I would like to bring attention to is the fact that even though these 2 ladies do not have very high career levels and do not seem to have come from money, they live in a large and lavish home. How on earth did they afford this? Is it possible they got the home from someone else? This could be supported by the fact that there is an empty nursery on the 2nd floor, and it is unclear who it could have possibly been for. Maybe the previous owners had a baby or toddler, but who were these previous owners? Who did the Pigeon family acquire this home from? Now let's wander over to the home of Millie's ex, Juan Darer, who resides at 27 Herring Ranch Road. Juan is an elder and lives by himself in an old barn. He used to have a farmhouse, but it was burned down after an unknown mishap involving one of his inventions. Juan is a retired toddler sports coach in the athletic career. He is insane, neurotic, handy, inappropriate, and a kleptomaniac. His lifetime wish is to be a monster maker, and he has 1 athletic, 6 inventing, 4 painting, and 1 sculpting skill. His inventing skill, plus his lifetime wish and insane trait, give him a sort of mad scientist vibe. Also, worthy of mentioning, one of the 2 default junkyards in Twinbrook is called Juan's Pick and Pull. Presumably, this junkyard is or was owned by Juan. Strangely, in the junkyard is a grave. The grave is of a sim named Lacey Darer. She is presumably related to Juan in some way, but she is not in his family tree. She died as a young adult. Her traits were eccentric, perfectionist, artistic, family-oriented, and good, and her lifetime wish was monster maker, just like Juan. Most interestingly, her cause of death was fire. Perhaps she died in the fire that burned down Juan's farmhouse? Was she perhaps his wife? If so, why is she buried in a junkyard of all places? Before we move on, I suggest you take a good look at her face, because we might be seeing one similar a bit later. Anyway, Juan actually has a best friend, and his name is Harwood Clay, so let's have a look at him next. Harwood Clay lives at 1 Poker Flats Drive. Harwood is a famous sculptor who moved out to Twinbrook to live a quieter life toward the end of his career. He is an elder and a retired stagehand in the music career. I assume this was a job he took up to pay the bills, or maybe just have something to do after moving to Twinbrook. He is a savvy sculptor, eco-friendly, perceptive, artistic, athletic, and charismatic. He has 2 charisma, 5 guitar, 3 painting, and 7 sculpting skill, and his lifetime wish is to be the descendant of Da Vinci. Interestingly, behind the local laundromat is the urn of a sim named Macy Clay. It is unclear how the two are related, as she is not in his family tree. She was a young adult and her traits were good, family-oriented, artistic, perceptive, and eccentric. Her lifetime wish was to be a home design hotshot, and her cause of death was fire. Now you may be thinking, Savannah, do you have the wrong photo up? That looks like Lacey Darer. Are they sisters or something? As far as we know, no they are not. The two ladies look identical and share most of the same traits, and of course their names rhyme. However, they do not share a family tree. They could have been twins, but they also seem to have the exact same chest tattoo. Maybe they are clones, or at least one of them is? Given that they share last names with Juan Darer and Harwood Clay, I imagine the two of them have something to do with this situation. So here is my theory. So Macy was Harwood's wife, sort of. I think she may be a reference to the story of Pygmalion in Greek mythology. Pygmalion was a sculptor who sculpted a woman out of ivory alabaster. She was so perfect that he fell in love with her. He ends up making an offering to Aphrodite at a festival and wishes for a bride just like his sculpture. Aphrodite grants his wish and brings the sculpture to life. I think Macy was basically the sculptor that came to life and Harwood was Pygmalion. So what about Lacey? Well, perhaps Harwood's best friend Juan wanted a wife as well after his breakup with Millie. Either he or Clay suggested that they use some of Juan's tech to make a clone of Macy. Perhaps something went wrong, a fire broke out, and they both died. Their remains were placed in the junkyard and laundromat so that no one would find them and wonder who they were and what happened. This isn't a terrific theory, I'm aware, especially the second half of it. I might refine it a little bit more and maybe make a video on it, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. At 32 Rue de Sterling live the high-tech friends. They are a trio of computer nerds all sharing the computer whiz trait, who reside in what was formerly a fraternity house. The household is made up of Justin Kays, Lang Gwyd, and Wei Keen. Justin Kays is a young adult who recently finished school. He is unemployed, but he intends to make money off of his computer knowledge and inventing skill, probably through selling the gadgets and things he creates. He is a computer whiz, of course, handy, perceptive, a genius, and a light sleeper. He has 4 handiness, 4 inventing, and 4 logic skill, as well as level 4 and the hidden hacking skill, and his lifetime wish is to be the Tinkerer. He is best friends with his elderly neighbor Analyza Riddle, enemies with his other neighbors Bobby and Scout Sargeant, and friends with his roommate Lang Gwyd. Lang is also a young adult, and if you remember from earlier, he is dating Billy Pigeon. He is a decoy in the criminal career, and he does not seem too good at the job as his performance is in the negative. He actually didn't want to work at all, but picked up the job to help pay the bills. He is a couch potato, a computer whiz, a loser, hates the outdoors, and is excitable. He has no visible skills, but he has 3 hidden skills: level 3 video gaming, 7 hacking, and 3 chess. His lifetime wish is to be a paranormal profiteer, which I find odd given his lack of a desire to work, and also because it would mean he would have to quit his current job and join the ghost hunter profession. Like Justin, he is friends with Analyza Riddle and enemies with the Sargeant household. The final resident in the household is Wei Keen. He is a young adult and a corporate drone with dreams of becoming the CEO of a mega corporation. He is a genius and a computer whiz, ambitious, a workaholic, and neurotic, and he has 4 logic skill points. He is very devoted to his dreams, but his bio suggests he is unsure if he wants to make all the sacrifices necessary to achieve his dreams. Although his roommates Justin and Lang are friends, Wei is only acquaintances with the two of them. Also, while his roommates are friends with Analyza Riddle and enemies with the Sargeants, he is friends with the Sargeants and enemies with Analyza. The reason for these conflicting relationships is unclear. Analyza Riddle lives by herself at 338 Rue de Sterling. She is an elder and a retired professional blogger in the journalism career who aimed to be a star news anchor. Unfortunately, given that she is retired, it looks like she won't be completing that wish. She is a bookworm, perceptive, friendly, lucky, and a schmoozer and has 2 logic skill and 5 writing. Analyza loves a good mystery book, and she is a woman of mystery herself. Mysteries she herself has yet to solve. She also seems to be a bit nosy, as her attic has a telescope that points out into the neighborhood. Anna is enemies with Wei Keen, as mentioned previously, and also with the Sargeants, but she is friends with Justin and Lang for some reason. She lives in a rather large home despite living alone. The home features several computers, 2 full dining tables, and a second bedroom seemingly for a child. Perhaps this was her childhood home, and the room used to be hers. In the attic of the home sits an urn of a sim by the name of Emma. She is not in Analyza's family tree, but they are likely related in some way. She died of old age as an elder, and she was a bookworm, insane, a loner, an angler, and perceptive. Her lifetime wish was to be a paranormal profiteer. She shares a few traits with Analyza, but I don't believe she is Anna's mother or grandmother, as she wears very medieval style clothing. Perhaps she is a distant ancestor. However, if that is the case, how did Anna get the urn of such a long gone ancestor? Perhaps this is one of Anna's mysteries she has yet to solve. Scout and Buddy Sargeant live next door at 336 Rue de Sterling. They are an intelligent, crime-fighting, investigative couple. Bobby is an adult and a squad leader in the military. He is a dangerous man not to be trifled with. He is brave, hot-headed, perceptive, a kleptomaniac, and friendly. His kleptomaniac trait is interesting given his and his wife's crime-fighting personalities and careers. He has 3 athletic, 2 charisma, 4 handiness, and 3 logic skill, and his lifetime wish is to be a pervasive private eye, which is odd because it would require him to quit his job and join the investigator career. Scout is an intelligent woman who is excellent at what she does. She is an adult and part of the Vice Squad in the law enforcement career, and her ultimate goal is to become an international super spy. She is a perfectionist, a daredevil, perceptive, ambitious, and a computer whiz. She has 3 athletic and 4 logic skill. They are both enemies with Justin Kays, Lane Quid, and Analyza Riddle. Buried in Ivy Hill Graveyard is Penelope Sargeant. Although not in the family tree, she is likely related to Bob, as if she was related to Scout, she would probably have Scout's maiden name. Penelope died in a fire as an adult, and her traits were dramatic, perceptive, friendly, ambitious, and brave, and her lifetime wish was to be an international super spy. She may have been Bobby's mother or grandmother and died when he was young, or maybe she was his sister. At 17 Poker Flats Drive is Molly Coddle. She is a young adult and works as an organ donor in the medicine career, but dreams of being a world-renowned surgeon. She is a loner, brave, neat, good, and friendly, and has 2 handiness skill and 1 logic skill. She is a shy and lonely girl who, while doing well in her career, does not have much of a personal life to speak of. However, things seem to be looking up as she is currently dating Phoenix Prudence of the Prudence family. The Prudence family resides at 156 Savannah Lane, which I heard was the coolest street in all of Twinbrook. And the family is made up of single father Phoenix Prudence and his 2 children, Parker and Pansy. Phoenix is an adult and works as an elementary school teacher in the education career. He formerly worked in law enforcement, but he gave that up when his children were born, likely because it was too dangerous. Unfortunately, he makes quite a bit less now and worries about if it is a sustainable career to raise his children with. He is brave, handy, a natural cook, family-oriented, and frugal. He has 2 charisma, 2 logic, and 3 writing skill, and he wants to become an astronaut. However, that would require him to quit his job again and join the military career. It is unclear who the mother of his children are, but perhaps he may find a stepmom for his children soon if things work out with Molly Coddle. Parker is Phoenix's son. He is a child and sees his father as his hero, but is a bit embarrassed to be going to the same school his father works at. He is ambitious, lucky, and a loser, and he has no skills. Pansy is Phoenix's daughter, and she is a toddler. She is a slob and excitable, and she loves her father, but her bio suggests she may grow to feel a bit suffocated by his very hands-on parenting style as she gets older. At 9 Catfish Flats Drive is the Drudge family. Seamus and Eva Drudge are another traditional, old-school kind of couple who have just moved to Twinbrook. Unfortunately, living in a place like Twinbrook has made those traditional values a bit difficult to uphold. Seamus is an adult and is an organ donor in the medicine career. He is from another country, I imagine maybe the Sims version of Ireland given his name, although it is spelled differently than the usual Irish spelling. He used to be a much higher level in his career but has had to start over. He is flirty, neat, childish, charismatic, and friendly, and wants to be super popular. He also has one logic skill point. Eva Drudge is his wife, and she is the quiet bookworm type. She is an adult and works part-time as a cash register specialist at the bookstore. She wants to become a literature teacher in the education career, but it is unclear why she has not started down her desired career path. She is unflirty, hates the outdoors, a technophobe, good, and of course a bookworm, and she dreams of becoming an illustrious author, which she is unfortunately very far from completing as she lacks any skills at all. Now let's have a look at the Racket family. They live at 53 Puddlewick Road, and they are a large family of criminals. Now this family is an absolute mess. The first line of their family bio is kind of wild and low-key problematic, but also sort of hilarious. Honestly, the entire household bio is hilarious, so let's read it together. Our personality disorders inherited. Dennis slipped up and gave an inch. The old man took a mile. Now the corrupt old frauds just take fake and foil. Walking defect Bill skims off the top, while the teens beg for attention in neglected obscurity. How long can the sanity assault continue? Will Silver's hijacked years and stolen looks ever know the bittersweet taste of revenge? Little Lolly may be this line's only hope for redemption. The Rackets are a sort of mafia-type family. The word racket actually is a slang term describing an illegal way of making money. They have a quote family business, which is basically just murder, fraud, theft, and lies. Max Racket is the head of the family. He is an elder and currently works part-time as a clothes folder at the spa. He used to be head of the family business, but has since retired, appointing one of his sons to be in charge of things from now on. He is a kleptomaniac, evil, a coward, lucky, and mean-spirited, and his lifetime wish is possession is 9/10 of the law. He has no skills except for the hidden consignment skill, of which he is level 7. Marigold is Max's wife. While Max has always been the head of the family business, she's really the brains of the operation and pulls all the strings. She is an elder and a retired supervillain in the criminal career. Interestingly, she dreamed of being the Empress of Evil, which she was only one promotion away from completing, making me wonder why she retired so close to the finish line. She is evil, insane, ambitious, neat, and mean-spirited, and has 10 athletic and 6 logic skill. Lastly, for some reason, she has enemies with her daughter-in-law, Silver. Bill Racket is one of Max and Marigold's sons. He is an adult and a yes-man in the politics career, but his performance is atrocious. He has commitment issues, is easily impressed, hates the outdoors, is inappropriate, and a mooch. And he wants to be a gold digger. He has 3 charisma skill points and 9 skill points in the hidden foosball skill. Bill is currently dating Julianne Knack of the Knack family. Now remember when I said Max appointed one of his sons to lead the family business? Well, it wasn't Bill. And he's bitter about it. As a result, he is enemies with his father, as well as his brother Dennis and Dennis's wife, Silver. Dennis has always been the favorite son of his parents. He's an adult and a safecracker in the criminal career. He is ambitious, neat, a mooch, a kleptomaniac, and a hopeless romantic. He also has the hidden burglar trait. He has 6 athletic and 1 handiness skill, and his lifetime wish is to be living in the lap of luxury. Dennis has always been hardworking and devoted to maintaining the family business and legacy, and as a result was given the title of head of the business. However, despite being chosen by his father, the two of them are actually enemies for some reason. Silver Racket is Dennis's wife and was initially nervous about marrying into a scary criminal family, but the wealth that came with it made the adjustment significantly easier. She is an adult and works part-time as a burial specialist at the mausoleum. She's a snob, a party animal, a mooch, frugal, and hot-headed, and her lifetime wish is to be swimming in cash. She has no skills aside from level 1 in the hidden mooch skill. She has enemies with both Max and Marigold, and she is best friends with Jade Greenwood of the Greenwood family. Her and Dennis have 2 children, Shark and Lolly. Shark is the couple's son. He is 18 and seems interested in joining the family business, but his personality traits don't seem to really reflect that. He is athletic, charismatic, flirty, and a great kisser, and he has 2 athletic skill points, as well as 3 points in the hidden video gaming skill. Lolly is his sister, who he is enemies with for some reason. She is also a teen and somehow has no clue she is part of a family of criminals. For some reason, she just has not been clued in yet, and it is unclear why. She is a hopeless romantic, a natural cook, never nude, and a schmoozer, and has 2 cooking skill points. Finally, buried at the town cemetery is a man named S. Wendell Racket. He is not in the family tree, but is most definitely related to the family and the family business given his traits and lifetime wish. He was ambitious, a mooch, lucky, mean-spirited, and evil, and his lifetime wish was to be the Emperor of Evil, which he completed. His cause of death was electrocution, and he died as an adult. He looks similar to Max, so he may have been his father or brother. So somehow this family manages to get even more suspicious. On the first floor of the home in the living room is an urn of a woman named Pixie Carlton. Does that surname sound familiar to you? Remember Sophia Carlton, the discount Paris Hilton? Pixie does not appear in Sophia's family tree, so their relation is unknown. So who is she and how did she get here in the Racket home? While the Racket family are neighbors with Sophia Carlton, they do not know each other. Is she aware her dead relative is in their home? Pixie died as an adult and her cause of death was electrocution. She was a great kisser, unlucky, clumsy, a schmoozer, and a snob. She shares the great kisser, schmoozer, and snob traits with Sophia. Her unlucky trait is interesting because unlucky Sims are usually revived by Grimm unless they die of old age. So was she killed by the Racket family? Did Sophia inherit her wealth from her? Some speculate that Bill dated her and then he and the family killed her for money. This is possibly supported by Bill's gold digger wish. At 12 Catfish Drive resides another member of the Racket family, Dudley Racket. Dudley is the 3rd son of Max and Marigold. He is an adult and a desk jockey in the law enforcement career who wants to become a forensic specialist dynamic DNA profiler. However, his performance is in the negative for some reason, so that might prove a bit difficult to achieve if his current trajectory continues. He is handy, good, clumsy, perceptive, and easily impressed, and has level 2 logic skill. As you can tell, he is very different from the rest of his family. He was always the goody two-shoes of the family, and was made fun of growing up because of it. He was not happy with the family business, and decided to fight crime instead, much to the dismay of his family. As a result, he has enemies with his entire family. Up next, we have the Knack family at 26 Puddlewick Drive. Patina Knack is the matriarch of the family. She is a hardworking and passionate creative, and according to her bio, her artistic prowess has afforded her family an amazing life and home. However, her obsession with her art has seemingly caused a bit of a rift between her and her daughter Julianne. Strangely, she is a CEO in the business career, which is bizarre because what illustrious career is her bio referring to? She is artistic, ambitious, charismatic, a perfectionist, and a natural cook, and her lifetime wish is to be a home design hotshot. However, this would require her to quit her job and join the architectural designer profession. Additionally, she has 2 cooking and 1 painting skill, as well as 6 skill points in the hidden stylist skill. I find this surprising given the fact that the household bio hones in on how much her artistic abilities have contributed to her success. Clearly that is not the case, as she seemingly rarely paints if her skill is so low. Knack is Patina's husband. Nick is the mediator of the family. He tries his best to hold the family together despite his wife and daughter being at odds. He is an adult and a trauma surgeon in the medicine career and wants to be a world-renowned surgeon. He loves the outdoors, is a genius, can't stand art, is a perfectionist, and a workaholic. The can't stand art trait is unfortunate given his wife's alleged passion for art and the ways it has supposedly benefited the family financially. He also has level 4 logic skill. Julianne is the couple's daughter. She is a young adult and a spice runner in the culinary career. However, she aims to become a CEO of a mega corporation like her mother, so she'll have to quit her job eventually. She is ambitious, flirty, a natural cook, a snob, and a workaholic, and she has 1 charisma and 1 cooking skill. Julianne and her mother do not get along super well due to Julianne not sharing her mother's creative nature. This is rather odd because her job is arguably way more creative than her mother's. In fact, her mother literally has her dream job. Was this an error? The family and their bios don't seem to match their situation. Julianne is also not super duper close with her father, and as mentioned earlier, she is dating Bill Racket. However, given his gold digger lifetime wish and commitment issues, he is likely just with her for her money. At 40 Sweetwater Loop, we have the Greenwood family, and they are very environmentally conscious. They are very green, so much so that all of their names are shades of green. The family is made up of Oliver and Holly Greenwood and their 2 daughters, Jade and Emerald. Oliver is an adult and works part-time as a produce quality assessor at the grocery store. He has worked there since he was a teen and absolutely loves his job. Unfortunately, however, as time goes on and his daughters get older and more expensive to care for, it may not be the most financially stable choice. He is a vegetarian, eco-friendly, a hopeless romantic, a green thumb, and frugal. He has 5 charisma and 3 gardening skill, and his lifetime wish is to have the perfect garden. Holly is Oliver's wife. She is an adult and is a local representative in the politics career, and she hopes to become leader of the free world, but she may be beginning to feel a bit worn down by the grind of the campaign trail. She loves the outdoors, is good, a vegetarian, eco-friendly, and a green thumb. She has 5 charisma, 3 cooking, and 2 gardening skill. Jade is the pair's teenage daughter, and she doesn't care very much for her family's environmentalist lifestyle and finds it rather uncool. She is the only person in her family who eats meat, and she has no environmental traits. She is clumsy, handy, athletic, and lucky. She has 2 athletic skill points and wants to be an athlete someday. Emerald is the younger of the 2 daughters. She is a child and seems to get picked on by other kids for her family's sustainable lifestyle. Aside from being a vegetarian like her parents, she does not have any environmental traits, so perhaps she'll follow the same path as her sister. She is brave, a vegetarian, a computer whiz, and has no skills. Down the street at 50 Sweetwater Loop is the Hunter household, and they are a couple with a bit of an age gap. Kat Hunter is an adult and is the older one in the relationship, and she works part-time as an intake specialist at the spa. She is over-emotional, flirty, a party animal, childish, and mean-spirited, and she wants to be a heartbreaker. Despite her age, she somehow has acquired no skills. 5 years ago, she divorced from her previous husband, Clark Peddler of the Simoleon Savers household, and the 2 of them are not on good terms. Currently, she is dating a new and younger man by the name of Buck Green. However, her heartbreaker lifetime wish and bio states she is looking, suggesting the situation with Buck may just be a short fling. Buck is a young adult and a snack hawker in the athletic career who dreams of becoming a superstar athlete. He is a great kisser, a daredevil, has commitment issues, is athletic and ambitious, and he has level 1 athletic skill. His commitment issues and the household bio imply that as he progresses in his career, he may grow bored of his and Kat's relationship. Overall, it seems like this pair's traits and long-term desires suggest that this relationship is just some short-term fun for the both of them. Kat's ex-husband Clark resides at 64 Westlake Drive in the Simoleon Savers household with his best friend Penny. The pair are a very frugal and money-hungry duo, each with their own big dreams. Clark is an adult and works part-time as a produce quality assessor at the grocery store, and his performance is pretty bad. He is evil, inappropriate, a kleptomaniac, frugal, and easily impressed, and his lifetime wish is possession is 9/10 of the law. Like his ex, he has somehow acquired no skills despite his age, aside from level 6 of the hidden mooch skill. Clark is a very money-focused guy. He's all about cash and making it in any way possible. He's very much a get-rich-quick type of guy. Given his lifetime wish and kleptomaniac trait, it is likely that he often steals a lot of things and resells them. Outside of the home, there is a car on display, which suggests that he also works as a sort of car dealer of some sort. Anyway, similar to Kat, he is living with someone much younger, a woman by the name of Penny Pincher. Penny is a young adult and works part-time as a cash register specialist Alice at the bookstore, but her performance is terrible. She is a heavy sleeper, a schmoozer, a party animal, charismatic, and flirty, and she wants to be super popular. She has no skills aside from level 2 of the hidden dancing skill. She seems to just want to be with Clark for money, maybe in the hopes that if she sticks around long enough, she'll be there when or if he finally strikes it rich. She hopes to become famous someday, it seems, but not through any sort of skill or anything, but rather, she hopes to charm her way to the top. Our final household lives nearby at 24 Sweetwater Loop. The roommate's household consists of 2 super mega best friends, Blaze Kindle and Alma Drill, and they are, as their household name suggests, roommates, according to historians. Blaze Kindle is an adult and works part-time as an overseer of the dead at the mausoleum. Her dream, however, is to be a firefighter superhero, but she has just been picking up part-time jobs until she feels ready to follow the path she really desires. It is unclear what exactly is holding her back, though. She is a slob, brave, a daredevil, a heavy sleeper, and athletic, and she has level 3 athletic skill. Alma Drill is an adult and works as an elementary school teacher in the education career, but she doesn't seem too happy with her career. She is currently trying to find out what she really wants in life, or maybe who she really wants. She is a bookworm, a slob, a heavy sleeper, hot-headed, and a couch potato. She has 1 charisma and 1 writing skill, and she wants to be a professional author. Now, if you have not gotten hints, these girls are gay, or some type of sapphic at least. Their household bio suggests that them now living together may take their friendship to, quote, places they never expected, a relationship. Also, they both sleep in single beds, but their beds are pushed together. Additionally, their household name, roommates, is a reference to the joke, historians will call them roommates, which usually refers to how many obviously queer couples are brushed off as just being close friends or roommates. So those are all of the Sims residing in Twinbrook. I found a tier list online for the families in Twinbrook, so here are my rankings. I'll link the one that I used down below in the description. So as usual, let's take a look at some of the environmental lore and Easter eggs around the town. So first, let's talk about the dead Sims in town. For some unknown reason, all the town's dead have a strange greenish zombie-like skin, gray hair, and are barefoot. They also all seem to like the color gray. The reason for them all having this bizarre appearance is unclear, but the developers did state it was intentional. Some believe it is a reference to Solomon Grundy, the comic book supervillain. He died and was buried in a swamp, then resurrected, and he comes back with a green zombie-ish appearance, white hair, and is barefoot. Also, as you may have noticed, there are many dead Sims who share surnames with living residents in Twinbrook, and also have similar appearances and traits, but they do not appear in their family trees. Presumably, they are indeed related to those living families, but it is unclear why they are not connected to their family trees. Furthermore, none of the families in Twinbrook have any deceased relatives at all in their family trees. So there are a few dead Sims in town that are not connected to any of the living families in town, but are still worth noting. Wilhelmina Leaf is buried in Ivy Hill Graveyard and is the only dead child in town. She was a coward, inappropriate, and a virtuoso. Interestingly, she died by electrocution, which is not possible in-game, as children cannot die by electrocution. She has no living relatives in town, but her grave is surrounded by 2 others that just read remains. I imagine these were likely her parents. She has a medium-sized headstone, which suggests she had a rather fulfilling life and accumulated a decent amount of lifetime happiness points for her age. Next, we have the only dead teen in town. His name is Kid Mug, and he is also buried in Ivy Hill. His traits were excitable, insane, daredevil, and evil, and his cause of death was starvation. The size of his gravestone suggests he accumulated over 150,000 lifetime happiness points, which usually means someone completed their lifetime wish, but he did not have one. Perhaps that means he just lived an incredibly enjoyable life, albeit a short one. Tina Patricia Cooper's urn sits in Curios Memorial Museum next to a sculpture. She died as an adult and was artistic, family-oriented, a light sleeper, and a natural cook, and a green thumb. Her lifetime wish was to have the perfect garden, which she appears to have completed. She is notable because her cause of death is the Mummy's Curse. This is a death that came with the Sims 3 World Adventures expansion, not ambitions. Also, typically, Sims get the evil evil trait when they die from the mummy's curse, but she did not. A sim named Ivy de Blue, who was buried in Ivy Hill, also succumbed to the mummy's curse. He also does not have the evil trait despite this. He died as an adult and his traits were coward, artistic, neat, virtuoso, and never nude. His lifetime wish was golden tongue, golden fingers, which he completed. Moving on from the dead sims, let's take a look at the rail line. Although it no longer seems to be the case, the town seems to have formerly had a rail line. On the map, you can find a defunct train carriage as well as leftover bits of tracks in various places. Lastly, something I did not notice until I saw it on a super old thread on Mod The Sims is that the town seems to be quarantined or something. Strangely, every road out of Twinbrook is either barred or cut off in some way. What are they keeping out or in? Does it have something to do with the town's peculiar looking dead? So that is Twinbrook. I really enjoyed looking at this world. I think I like it more than I did Riverview. I enjoyed Riverview, but I feel like the families in Riverview feel a bit more disconnected. They don't have a lot of cross-family connections, whereas in Twinbrook it seems like someone was dating someone else, or two people are exes, or they killed someone in their families. I don't know, some weirdness. But the families in Twinbrook just feel more connected, and it feels like a town of people who actually know each other. I also really enjoyed all of the punny names. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below your thoughts on any of the mysteries and your theories that you have. So that's a wrap for today. I hope to see you next week. Bye bye.